All right. Well, hey, today, welcome. This is episode number 4 of The Great Blue Shark. I'm your host, Chris Hopper. And today joining us is Michael Malfa. He's the CEO and co-founder of Boardwalk Insurance up in Canada. Michael was in the insurance space for about 13 years prior to taking the leap over to the entrepreneurial side of things about 2.5 years ago, and has grown his team to over 12 employees. Great to have you here today, Michael. Welcome.
Thanks, Chris. Pleasure to join you today.
Insurance is an industry that, like we was chatting about just a little bit earlier, nobody ever dreams of getting into the insurance space. You just kind of happen into it. Give me your story. How did you get into the insurance business?
Yeah. So I made that joke earlier about, when I was 4 years old, I was dreaming about insurance and how I could change the world in insurance.
Yeah. All your buddies wanted to be astronauts and firemen, and you wanted to be an insurance risk adjuster.
Yeah. No, like most people, Chris, I kind of just fell into it sort of thing. I studied marketing in school, and I was pretty passionate about continuing to pursue marketing after college. But I had a friend who was in the insurance space, P&C space, on the sales side, and they kept talking about how lucrative it was, how there was so much flexibility on your schedule, control of your income, how you can control your income, no limit on how much income you could make. It all sounded great, but no one wants to sell insurance. So, I turned him down a few times. I turned her down a few times. And eventually, she was persistent. I gave in, and I haven't looked back since then. Like, it's now 15, 16 years later.
Man, that's a great story, Michael. One of the things that I see oftentimes is, and it's kind of separated by the crowd. You got insurance agents, and then you've got insurance consultants. And that's what, that kind of separates the good from the bad. Do you see that on your side? You got guys that just want to go out there and do what they've always done, but then you've got a select few that they want to go a little bit deeper. They want to actually help that employer to manage that risk and be better. What do you see?
Yeah. So Chris, a great question. I think that's one of the main reasons my partner and I decided to go off on our own. Aside from the technology, which we could speak about later.
Yeah.
The main driver outside of the technology was the ability to be that consultant, and at our previous role where we were with a direct writer, we were a captive agent. So while that company was excellent, you can only do so much as a captive agent. You're bound by that carrier's appetite and that carrier's, products. So when you come across clients that need a more diverse or a broader spectrum of products or expertise, we couldn't offer that service to these the service to these clients. So I felt like I was starting to do a bit of a disservice to my clients with the limited access to market I had. So that's why we decided to go on the agency side, which the broker side here. And now we represent over 35 insurance carriers. We're appointed with 35 plus insurance carriers, and we have access to a broad spectrum of products, underwriters, risk management consultants, and we can do a more, holistic, thorough job for our clients in addressing the risk.
So you're not always trying to put a round peg down a square hole then?
You got it.
You know what? You often see that in the captive side of things, or advisors that don't have access to these other markets. They only try to push what they have access to, instead of just saying, listen, I can't do you the service that you need to do. You need to get hooked up with this guy and that guy. And what we see, I'm on the benefit side of things, Michael, and what we see is there's a big misalignment. The consultants are paid by the carriers, and so sometimes ethics kind of gets in the way of what should actually be and managing risk. Nobody understands insurance. That's why they need a good advisor to break down what risk are we trying to control. Prior to going out on your own, what did you see as a status quo in insurance space that wanted you to take that leap and own your own shop?
Yeah, I think we wanted some form of control that customer journey. When you go work somewhere, you're somewhat limited to, somewhat limited to the culture of where you're going, the culture, the tools, the processes. And we kind of had an idea of our own process and our own experience for our customers. And we wanted to enhance that, what we think is an enhanced experience for our customers. And that, like you said, that advisoryship, we wanted to give that enhanced experience, enhanced advisoryship, more options, streamlined approach, quicker access to products and service. And the only way to do that was to just build something from scratch and just change the way certain things were being done that we thought were a bit of a friction point.
You see that a lot in this industry too. This industry's been around since the English were bringing ships over and needed to insure that cargo. But some of the antiquated technology that these folks have in terms of being able to deal with it, particularly on the health side, you'd think healthcare technology would all go hand in hand. Some of the times that they're still using the fax machine. Are you kidding me? The fax machine. It's unbelievable. Is there any pieces of technology that you guys implement that have been a game changer for you guys?
Yeah. So there's on the P&C side, you may experience it on the benefits side and, the health side. There's BMS system, a broker management, also known in the US as an agency management system. So we, rather than adopt, a third party agency management system, like out of the box, we developed our own. And that was, kind of the big push we had at the beginning. Like we built this thing from scratch. So it's completely proprietary. It's completely in-house. It's boundless. It can go anywhere. It can do anything we want. We have a full-time dev team that's developing the software. And this is essentially like our broker management system. It manages the brokerages, all our client files, how we interact with our carriers, how we interact with our clients is all stemmed from this agency management software. So that's been that game changer for us.
Well, that must have been a stick in your side at some point in time, because those agency management systems, brother, I have seen a lot of them, and they do a lot. And a lot of times I just need them to do a little, and they don't do that very well. Who was the mastermind behind putting that together?
Yeah, so I'll say that my partner, I'm not going to take full credit for it. My partner was the mastermind behind it all. He had the idea of doing it, and he's very, he has a very technical side. So he wanted to pursue it. And I love the idea, because you're right. Like, these things are so big, they're so robust, they do so much, but the few things that we need them to do exceptionally well, where we're operating 90% of our time in, they're convoluted. So I was on board. We just started wireframing on a napkin, drawing wireframes on a napkin at a Starbucks. And over several years, we started doing mock-ups, prototyping, outsourcing initially the development, and eventually just grew and grew and grew. We brought our own dev team in, consultants in, and it just turned into a beast. But so
do you sell that stuff now, or you just keep it to yourself?
Right now, it's all internal. We're not SaaSing it out at this present time.
Yeah.
But I think it's in an incubation phase. We want to prove, how well this thing works with our agency. And then we incubate it. We want to get all the metrics, the KPIs. And at that point, we'll potentially consider bringing it to market.
Gotcha. But right now, it just helps you to be better advisors to your clients and better,
Exactly.
And then your service team, because that's really what it boils down to. The sales guys go out and sell the dream. Then you got to have your service people in there to fix, put things together, claims happen, all that kind of things. How do you market your agency? And you Michael?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's one area I think that, we could do a better job on. I'll be honest with you. We've definitely explored some marketing agencies, that we entered into contracts with to do. They ran an ad campaign for us. So we did some Google ad campaigns. We did a social media campaign. We attended some events, did some print material. All this really, I feel like we haven't had great amount of success there. And I think it's because we've neglected it. we've never dove into it. We've always dibbled and dabbled. We dibbled with some social media. We dabbled with some Google AdWords and trying to do some SEO optimization.
Yeah.
I think we could definitely do a better job at the marketing side. It's just a matter of getting the right person to draw up the strategy and implement the strategy. Not just give us a plan, but like drive that plan. Who's going to drive that plan home? So we do need to put some effort there, and we recognize that.
Do you see a lot of guys? I mean, do they try to do social, ad, emails, and phone calls, or are they just trying to do one channel of that for the marketing?
Yes. So from a producer standpoint, most of our producers are pretty omni-channel. We'll send out emails, emails. They'll do some cold call outreach as well, follow-up calls. Yeah. They'll do social. So it is pretty omni-channel. I think you have to be everywhere now, and you have to connect with people on every which form, and they need to keep seeing you in different channels. Like if they just hear from you on the phone, it's like, who's this Boardwalk company? But hey, you know what? I saw Boardwalk last week when I was scrolling through my LinkedIn feed or my Instagram feed. I saw Boardwalk, or hey, I got that email from Boardwalk a month ago, and now this agent is calling me. I kind of, my guard is coming down a bit.
Yeah. That's great. So you're penetrating them, and that's the thing. You've got to touch them, because I think the latest statistics, it used to be like 4 or 5 outreaches before somebody would actually remember who you were or take that call. Now it's probably up into the high single digits or low double. Maybe it's 9 or 12 touches, but you want to push on people enough that they know who it is, but not so much that they're going to blow you off, but also consistent enough for like, I just as well take this call from Michael because he's not going to leave me alone. And I'd like to hear what he had to say.
Yeah, you nailed it, Chris. It's a different time now. People are so stimulated with content and information. You got to just like cut through the crowd. So we've had a little bit of a difficult time staying on top, staying relevant, staying on top and cutting through the crowd. We've been fortunate that we have some great producers that have been able to drive business, through direct outreach, the old-fashioned way. We do have to pour more resources into marketing.
Are you planning on trying to grow by acquisition or just organically?
A little bit of both. So right now we've been growing organically, but I think for 2024, the main objective is to grow through acquisition and start acquiring agencies, start acquiring books, and using our system to manage those books, and using the people that we absorb to help drive those new business volume in.
Yeah, I think that's a great strategy. You see a lot of P&E guys out there buying it. One Digital's big down here. I don't know if they're big up there. Gallagher, I mean, the big alphabet houses, and one of the things that I always think is it's cool about it. I mean, because you've always got an exit strategy, but oftentimes the true meaning of what that guy built gets lost, because once those PE guys get a hold of them for a little while, they just wash them out, and it just goes back. But it gives us the opportunity to go in and pick up a lot of business.
That's been, you're right. Like there's been so much mergers and acquisitions here in Canada. I'm sure in the US too, from the alpha houses, that it kind of does give us little guys that opportunity to find these underserved clients that kind of get lost in the shuffle, and then pick them up, give them that boutique feel. But we are very reliant on producers. Like we need good account executives. That's very important in our role.
Do you still produce yourself?
I still do a little bit of production myself. I'm definitely not full time, but it's hard to take your foot off the gas. Like when you're just used to selling, and I still love to sell. I love to service clients. I love meeting new clients. So I'm guilty of doing that. At least 30-40% of my time I'm doing that.
Yeah. So we're just about to the end here. What's a big challenge that you've been seeing in your business that you'd like to improve over the next year?
Yeah, for sure. So I think the marketing is one of them. We definitely got to get a handle on the marketing and start building some more brand awareness countrywide. We've got decent brand awareness in our region, the GTA, the Greater Toronto area. Yeah. But we need to build that brand awareness out of province. So I think that's one of them. And the other thing is just growing a really strong team across Canada that we can rely on to facilitate these massive growth plans. We do have some, ambitious growth plans, but we need the right people in place to do it. So right now it would just be recruitment.
Yeah. Speaking of that, what's your secret to recruiting?
Yeah. So as a recruiting, I think LinkedIn is probably my biggest friend, my best friend for recruiting. I've tried different websites for recruitment like Indeed and other ones, but LinkedIn, actually connecting with targeted individuals for the role that I think is specific, I'll actually connect with them and just cultivate the relationship there, has been invaluable. And then the other thing I would say is that brand. Like you said, once you establish that brand, start getting a lot more inbound candidates. Like we're starting to get more applicants now because of the social media presence. Like on LinkedIn, we're doing a little bit more posting, and by doing those postings, we're getting visible to these applicants. So I think just building that brand on LinkedIn, on social media, having a good recruiter helps too. Having a good recruiter, I think that's it.
What is the My Boardwalk? What is the brand? What is your message? What's your why?
Yeah, the message is basically providing customers with an enhanced experience when handling their commercial insurance. So we're enabling our producers, our account executives, our service staff. We're enabling our staff to provide a better and more seamless experience for our customers. So by giving them our staff these tools and these systems and the market access and processes, in turn, it's going to benefit our clients, and our clients are going to get an experience that they can't get elsewhere at any other brokerage.
Perfect. Well, hey, where can people find out more about you, Michael?
Yeah, I think LinkedIn is always a good place. We're on LinkedIn. You could search me up, Michael Malfa, or you could search up my Boardwalk Insurance. Alternatively, on the website at myboardwalk.ca.
Perfect. Well, hey, Michael, thank you for joining me today. And thanks for everyone tuning in. If you got any questions you'd like answered by the Great Blue Shark, always feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn. Leave it in the description. If you like the episode, don't forget to subscribe, follow, leave us a 5-star review on Apple, everything. Michael, hey, loved getting to know another friend up in Canada. Good luck with your agency. I know you guys work hard, and it's always a pleasure to see the independents out there, trying to stick their stake in a piece of the pie up there, because the big boys say they have it all, but man, they leave a lot to be desired on service, and everything they say they do and give, just as well as we do at least that much and more. And we care about the guys. I mean, everybody wants to care about their clients, but the independent guys, I've always got a place in my heart for those guys, because it's just the salt. It's the salt of the earth, man.
I couldn't have said it better myself, Chris. I love it. And I appreciate you having me.
Hey, appreciate you, man. Thanks, Michael.
Thank you.